contact for AmaWaterways, a spectacular cruise line, and Hollis mentioned that she was actually on a AmaWaterways cruise this time last year, but they are a tremendous partner with us. They take such good care of our clients. And yeah, I'll let Michael take it from here.
Perfect. Let me get, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, yeah, thank you. So as Jamie just said, I'm Michael with AmaWaterways, and I've been with the company about, well, actually a little over a year now, if you can believe that. I was with another competitor of ours for about 11 years and hopped over here. So it's been a great transition, a wonderful company. And tonight I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are, what we do, where we go briefly, and then dive right into something we do so very well, and that is our Christmas markets. And to be more specific, really the German and Austrian markets on the Rhine and the Danube. We're going to tackle those a little bit. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So one of the things that we tell people all the time is that oceans take you to countries, rivers take you through them. And I think it's, you know, I don't believe you win a race by tripping your opponents. Ocean cruises are where we get the bulk of our customers, because once they do 2 or 3 or 4 ocean cruises, they want to come back and say, gosh, we want something a little, maybe a little smaller, a little more intimate, which plays very well in what's going on today in the world. I think we're going to see more of that going forward. But with that aspect, we always want to say that, you know, these small intimate vessels will take you to places that you've never been before and are really, really a highlight of all river cruises. We started the company. It's a family-run business. You can see here to the left of your screen is Rudy Schreiner. He's actually known as the godfather of river cruising, because he really was the person who designed and built a lot of these river cruise vessels. His wife, Christine Karst, is the executive VP. And then Gary Murphy. A lot of you know Gary. His dad, Jimmy, was actually part of that trio. Jimmy unfortunately passed away several years ago, and so Gary took over at the helm. But Rudy was known, he was actually one of the first presidents over at Viking Cruises, and he also ran a couple other river cruise lines. So he's been around quite a bit. He knows the rivers very well, and we're just very proud of what he's done with AmaWaterways. As you see here, we cruise all over the world. We're down here in the Spain and Portugal area on the Douro River. We're all over France. We do the Rhone, we do the Seine, we do the Bordeaux area, and also we're in Asia, Africa, and Egypt, which we will start next year. Tonight, we're going to talk more or less about the Rhine, which is this river out here, which goes all the way down to Basel, and then a little bit on the Danube, again, through Germany, and has all those wonderful Christmas markets. So very, very exciting and very nice. But we've got really something for everyone. One of the things I want to talk to your clients about really is why AmaWaterways. I'm not going to go through the whole list here because there's just too many things to go over with, but you can see that there are a lot of reasons why people choose us over somebody else. Again, all cruises are good cruises, but there's a difference between a great cruise and a good cruise. Little things that separate us, and you're going to see as I go through the presentation some of those little things. For example, we have a signature twin balcony stateroom that you'll see. Most other companies, that's considered a suite. And other things such as shore excursions, we include all our shore excursions. Other companies will give you one, and then you got to pay for the rest. So little things like that, again, are going to really add that AMA value. And I think you'll see that by the end of the cruise. We have been very, very honored. Berlitz has nominated the top 10 vessels in Europe, all AmaWaterways vessels. And one thing that Rudy was smart in doing, when he went forward with this company, he's very, very financially savvy. And as he says, I can sleep well at nighttime because we have no debt on our ships. Every one of our ships is paid for before it's built. So that way we're a debt-free company, and that has proven to be very successful, especially in today's environment. So we're very, very happy about their financial prowess in this industry. Of course, our industry has been hit very, very hard, the travel industry. I think the next industry is probably the hospitality restaurant industry. But we have not been traveling as a company, as an industry since really March and April when everything shut down. We have been the first cruise line actually to go back. We traveled this summer from about June all the way through the end of November. We had one vessel that was chartered, and we were able to put through all of our protocols. I can happily report that in all those cruises, not a single case of COVID, and we're very, very happy about that. You can expect all of these protocols in place when we do start back up. Hopefully, cross your fingers in April. So those are some nice things that we're going to talk about. Now, I tell people all the time, river cruising is like a floating B&B. This is one of our vessels here on the river. It's very quaint, it's very intimate, but it's very relaxing, and it's not the hustle and bustle that sometimes we think a cruise is. One of the things we do is we hire extraordinary people, and these are people that really go that extra mile. From cruise managers to everybody on board the vessel, they really go. It's just that little extra something, like remembering your names when you come in, remembering the cocktail that you had the night prior. Those are the things that we pride ourselves on over at AmaWaterways. I alluded to the fact that we include all of our shore excursions, which we do, and we also personalize those with customized type of small group excursions. So if you are a person who likes to get up and go, we have an excursion for you. If you have limited mobility, say you have a bad knee or a bad hip, you're a little slower pace, we have excursions for you there too. So again, we really want to make sure everybody does excursions, but some people just travel faster than other people, and that's okay. One of the other things that we're well known for are our bikes on board. So we do have what are called active adventures, because we know that people want to hike and bike all over the place. We do have these wonderful biking adventures. We carry about 40 bikes on board, and they're very, very well maintained, along with the helmets, as you see here. We have 2 guides on every trip, one in the front, one in the back, so we don't lose anybody. I did a trip with them, and I was very pleasantly surprised. About halfway, about 3/4 through the adventure, everybody pulls off, and I see this big table here, and there's some wine and some spirits and some non-alcoholic stuff and all these cheeses and local breads and pastries and everything. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the way to do a biking trip. It was really, really nice. But again, we really like to give people hands-on type of things to do, whether it be bikes or culinary or special interest tours, truffle hunting, you name it. We've got it all for you. So really take advantage, I should say, of all these different shore excursions when you're on one of our cruises. And we're the very first river cruise to have a wellness host on board. This is something that we see more and more of our guests take part of. They're very active. They really want to stay in shape when they're on cruises. And so we do things, even if it's a stretching class, if it's a yoga class, cardio class, or even dance. We've got all these different things that these wellness hosts do on board, and we really try to appease everybody's level. So please take advantage of that when you're on board, and it's really a nice little program. And if you do things like at the very end, you get t-shirts, et cetera, et cetera. So it gives you a nice little incentive to do something there. And of course, we can't forget about our food. We are the only river cruise line to belong to La Chaîne de Restaurateur, which is a gastronomic society. It's been around since the 12th century. And Paul Bocuse brought it back here recently in the last 100 years. And so he's one of the grandfather of all French cooking. You have to be invited to this society, and Rudy was. And so every one of our ships has been rated as a Chaîne de Restaurateur ship. And so we have special chefs that have been trained on that. The food is exquisite, and it is very, very good. Not to mention, for those of you who do like to partake, we have a wonderful sip and sail cocktail hour, which again, we include all the beer and the wine and the sodas with your lunches and with your dinners on board. We also have sparkling wines and mimosas with your breakfast. But there is an hour right before dinner Usually goes from about 5 to 6:30, 7 o'clock. And that is where we more or less, we have a menu with pretty much every drink you can think of in there where you can order up and it's all complimentary. So outside of the dinner times or meal times and the sip and sail cocktail hour, then you will have to pay for your beverages. But if you're good with cocktails every night during that time frame, you really don't have to spend a dime on anything and any alcohol related things. So very, very nice. Let's get into a few pictures on inside the vessel before I take you to the Christmas part of it. So this is what we call one of our main dining rooms. It's a very, very pretty. We have floor-to-ceiling windows. They're all open most of the time when we do have dinner. And so it accommodates all different sizes of groups. And there are some things in here that are very, very special, but I want to wait till we get to a certain slide and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We also are very big into wine. So we have our private wine rooms. And these are special. They're off the dining room. We have 2 of them. And they're for groups that maybe like to partake in wine. You can reserve these on board. And as you can see in the background there, we have a nice selection of wines. We are probably the foremost river cruise line when it comes to wine and our wine groups, our wine cruises, our wine hosts. We're very big into wine. I can tell you that for no uncertainty. So please check out, have your guests check out if they are into wine, all of our wine attributes on all of these cruises. Another thing that we have, it's a one-of-a-kind, is our chef's table restaurant. Everybody will have an opportunity to dine in the chef's table. There's no charge for this, and it's really a wine pairing type of menu, and it's just exquisite. You'll have a wonderful meal sampled with about 4 or 5 different wines, and they're just wonderful. So make sure you don't miss, tell your guests not to miss the chef's table. And if you want to go back twice, you can, but we do like to give at least one opportunity for everybody on the vessel to dine in the chef's table. And then if you want to go more, you certainly can, and we're not going to stop you. As far as this, the interior of the stateroom, or the staterooms, I should say, we do have quite a plethora of them. I'm not going to go through a lot of them. This is just a little tease here to show you what we have. This is off our new ship, the Magna, and this is about 355 square feet. It's one of our smallest rooms on there. Beautiful, beautiful ship. What we're known for, though, is our signature staterooms, which are our twin balcony staterooms, which are on all the rest of our vessels. These vessels, or these really are rooms on a normal river cruise vessel would be a suite. I know the company that I was with prior, this is what would be one of our suites. And the 2 different balconies, you have a French balcony there behind those red chairs. And then you have a full balcony with a couple of chairs out there off to the left. So they're very, very pretty, all different sizes. We have quite a selection of different rooms, usually about 5 different categories per vessel. So let's talk about tonight, where we want to do is on the magic of Christmas, and that is doing a Christmas markets cruise on the rivers. Now, I have had the pleasure, and it's been an absolute pleasure. For about 10 years, I have done Christmas markets in Europe. I would normally be over there right about now, actually, doing the markets, because they open roughly about November 25th, right around our Thanksgiving time, and they go up until about Christmas. They are absolutely stunning. For those of you who have done Christmas markets, you know what I'm talking about. But with Ama, we really do it up right. You know, we don't just put, I know I've seen about every company over there with river cruises during the Christmas market time. And I can tell you, we decorate our vessels about 10 times more than any other river cruise line. We really get into that festive spirit. And it starts about a couple weeks prior to the Christmas market opening. So people who are on those cruises really get a treat. You know, we do everything from the crew that's caroling, which we do several times during the cruise, so people can sit back, relax, and listen to maybe voices that aren't quite on cue, but they're having a great time doing it. And keep in mind that all these people you have seen are from all different countries. So it's a different level of anticipation. It's a different level of excitement, but people love when they have the crew doing the Christmas carols. In addition, we have passengers who will decorate all of our trees on board, as this one young lady here who's decorating one of our trees. We have all the garland and everything decorated up on the vessel. And it's a special time because unlike some other companies, we like to have children on board. We don't get a lot of kids on board, but usually during the holidays, we'll get a few of them on board, not many. But when they do, it just brings that extra special zest because kids and Christmas, they kind of go hand in hand. But you'll see all the different decors that we have throughout the vessel. So it's an extra special time. During this special time on Christmas, the kitchen has been known to actually do some special things as well. So we do make the legendary Stollen bread, and that is for every guest to partake in. It's throughout the cruise, and it's really, really tasty. It's very, very nice. I like it kind of personally toasted with a little bit of butter on it, but you can have it cold, you can have it any which way you want to, but it is very, very nice and delectable. The other thing that's very nice, and you probably don't know this, but on every one of our Christmas market cruises, we actually do cook a Christmas goose. So people who don't like to eat any type of geese or goose product, we actually have a full menu, so not to worry. But this is very, very traditional in the Christmas market in Europe, and so we do like to have those, traditions kept alive. Now, the markets themselves, they're very, very nice and very exquisite. And every market, like I said, I've been to quite a few. Pretty much every market that I'm going to show you tonight, I've been there. And I can tell you that every single market is different. Most of the items that are made here are handmade. It's not, made in China or made in Hong Kong or made somewhere else and shipped over there. There is a little bit in some of the markets. Some of the French markets tend to be more purchase stuff and then it's put out. But the markets in Germany and Austria are really handmade, and each one is known for their own unique style. Some may be more prone to, as this young lady in the picture here, ornaments, hand-blown ornaments. Some are more woodworking, leather goods. So everyone is a little bit different. Keep in mind, look at what they are holding. Do you see what they're holding in their hands? Because this next slide really goes right into that. And that is what I go for, and that is the Glühwein. Now, Glühwein it's more or less a hot spiced wine. And I go for the Christmas markets for about 3 different things: Glühwein, chocolate, and sandwiches, and pretty much in that order. And I sit down with some people and we sit there and I eat my way through the markets. My wife likes to shop her way through the markets, and we get along great at that. But if you look at the picture, look at all the mugs there. So in each different market, they will have a unique mug. You purchase the Glühwein. You can do it in a regular cup if you don't want the mug. But if you get the mug, sometimes they give you like free refills or 1 refill or whatever. And then you get to keep that mug. People will come back from Christmas markets with 7, 8, 9 different mugs that they'll bring home and they add to their collection. And it's really, really nice. So make sure you tell your clients, and for those of the clients that are on, if they want to look at the markets, it really is, it's very, very tasty. And like I said, you will not be disappointed. And I've had 7 or 8 glasses of Glühwein, and I can still walk fine, because if you notice that most of the alcohol is evaporated out of the Glühwein during the heating process. So it's not like drinking straight wine where you'd be on the floor if you had 7 or 8 glasses of that. So, but it is very, very tasty. So let's take the Danube first, and we're going to look at that. Then I'll go over to the Rhine and we'll wrap it up with some questions. So one thing on the Danube, and these are the main markets there, anywhere from Regensburg down to Budapest, which again is not in Germany or Austria, but that's where the cruise ends. The bulk of the markets are going to be in the Germany, Austria area. And so they're really, really pretty. And I'm going to kind of walk you through the different markets as we go. So the first one we're going to stop in is Regensburg. And if for those of you who have never been, I like to tell people it's really a postcard around every corner. Whatever market you go to, the only thing I keep telling people is, I keep hearing, oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Especially when there's snow on the ground. Now, usually in December, it's been for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been there. It's been 40 degrees, blue, sunny skies. It's been just beautiful. I have been there when it's been snowing, which is extra special because that's when they bring out the horse-drawn carriages with the sleighs. Otherwise, they'll just have wheels on them. But it's just, regardless, it's just very, very nice. And so Regensburg, in fact, in Regensburg is where they have one of the oldest sausage kitchens in all of Europe. So you don't want to miss that either. Nuremberg, one of my favorite cities in all of Europe. I'm a big World War II history bum, but here is, you want to make sure you spend some time here. Nuremberg, again, is very, very pretty. It's in the city square here. Lots of history from World War II, and then they've got lots of markets. They have a couple different markets. This is the one in the city center, and it will take you several hours to go through all these. So make sure you allot time to do that. After that, we head down to Salzburg, which is in Austria, which is another very, very pretty market. You can tell it's very popular, and Salzburg is a little bit smaller, but again, the markets are very, very nice, very festive. What I like about the markets is it's not commercial. It is very home style feeling with people there. They bring their families there. They've got entertainment. It's just very wholesome and very pure. So it's very, very nice. Vienna. Now there's several markets in Vienna. I've been to 3 of them, and that will take you all day. But if you want to go, just ask for the main market, and they're all about the same size, but they're all very, very nicely done, very, very pretty. Lots of things to see and do in Vienna. So I'm sure the markets is just one of the many things that you'll want to do, from Lippizzaner stallions to history to markets, you name it. It's all there in Vienna. And you don't want to forget, they have some incredible chocolates here. So if you really want to taste some great chocolate in the markets, you want to save your appetite because they've got great food all over the place in Vienna. So it is very, very nice. And then on this particular one, we're going to end in Budapest. And again, the markets in Budapest, they are good, but I don't think they're quite as good as the German and Austrian markets. They have a nice one up in the Fisherman's Bastion area, which is on the Buda side. And on the Pest side, they have some of the markets too. But I really think the German and Austrian markets have this where, keep in mind, all over Europe, there's markets all over Europe, and every country does it just a little bit differently. But I am partial to the German and Austrian markets. After you leave Budapest, one pre and post option is Prague. Again, another beautiful city, and they have wonderful markets there. And so you want to check out that because that is pretty. But one of my favorite markets is going to be in Dresden. So Dresden is, in fact, it's the oldest Christmas market in all of Europe. So they have had this tradition alive for many, 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 many years. And you really don't want to, this is a pre or post option for you. But if you have the time, make sure you get up to go see Dresden because it really is a beautiful city and it's just a beautiful market. And it looks exactly like this picture too. So if you think these are just all doctored up, they are not. They are regular pictures from being at the markets, and that's just how pretty they are. So please take my word for it. Let's take a little gander on the Rhine here before we finish up. So again, the Rhine we're looking at from Amsterdam all the way down to Basel, Switzerland. And again, it goes right through the heart of Germany, some wonderful markets there. And I'm going to take you on a little tour right through there. So first of all, in Amsterdam, they don't really do markets in Amsterdam. The Dutch never really got into the whole Christmas market theme. But what they do there is called the Festival of Lights. And it runs till about the end of November-ish until about the middle of January. So all during that time frame, they have this incredible light exhibition all throughout the entire city. So it's very, very pretty, but they just don't have the markets. But Amsterdam is known for a lot of other things too, besides the light festival. But there's some really, really pretty lights, so just keep that in mind. Cologne, one of my favorite cities. This is a city that it's very alive. It's very German, also known for Kolsch beer. So if you're a good beer aficionado, we do have a pub crawl during this time frame where you can sample 7 or 8 different Kolsch beers. And it's really, really nice. This festival is right in front of that Gothic cathedral there, which is iconic because you can't miss it. It's in the city center. And it's really a very nice market. Again, will take you several hours to go through here, but again, it's not to be missed. So you really want to sample that one. Heidelberg, we stop in Heidelberg to see the Heidelberg Castle, and we also get to go into Heidelberg to see their Christmas markets. You can see the big long line of people going into the markets, and again, not to be missed, every one of these markets, like I said before, is very different and very unique. And then we're going to stop at Strasbourg. Strasbourg, you know, it's been owned by several countries. It was Germany and France, and back to Germany, and then back to France. So they like to think of themselves as Alsatians, really not Germans or French. And so they have a unique spin on that. They do a lot of lights, but the markets here are very, very pretty too. So again, not to miss that, because they have a little unique flavor on their markets, but very, very well done and very, very nice. And then Gingerbread, Germany, a beautiful, quaint little German town that it's a quintessential German town with all the buildings. And again, the snow, you can see this picture was taken when there was snow there on that year. But again, the markets are very, very, this is just one aspect. You go around that corner to the right to see a huge city center, and really, really, really pretty. So the markets there, not quite as big as Vienna or Cologne or some of the larger cities. So this is a smaller city, and again, a little more homemade stuff and that hometown feel there. So it's very, very, very pretty. And then lastly, we have Basel, Switzerland. So that's where they're going to end the cruise if you go down there. And the Swiss also do a nice job in the markets too. Very much on the German influence side. They've carried a lot of those traditions over, but they have their own unique flavor on that too. So again, the markets there are very, very nice. For some pre and post, again, there's Lucerne, Switzerland, which if you haven't been to Lucerne, they do a wonderful job in the markets. And then also in Zurich, they have a nice little spin on their Christmas markets as well. So very, very, very pretty. And again, you just can't go wrong in the markets. I would go to the Christmas markets every single year if I could. That's how unique they are, and it's different every single year. You never see the same things twice. So that's why it makes it so special. And lastly, to wrap this up, we do have some current specials that will help you. We have some new back-to-back cruises, which we're giving a 10% discount off that second cruise. You can talk to me more about that or email me, and then I'll give you more information about that. When it goes, it's going on right now. We also have some, and this is very, very big, complimentary pre and post packages. This is, as you see it, it's a free land package. And this is, if you do a cruise, reserve it before January 15th in those 3 different destinations. There are certain select sailings in there that apply. There's quite a few of them. So if you want more information, just ask reservations and they will tell you. But it's a 4-night Basque Country in the Bordeaux region, the Gems of Southeast, or Rhine Castles and Swiss Alps. So again, those are all free packages that we're giving away, but you have to reserve prior to January 15th. And don't forget about our Fly Free to Europe program. This is booked by the end of the year, and you're going to receive free round-trip economy airfare, or there are alternatives. If you're going to bring somebody, there's free companion air, there's upgrades to business class. Find out more about that. You can talk to reservations, and they'll tell you all about that. And let's see. Solo Traveler Program. This is something that's very unique to AmaWaterways, and it's something you really want to pay attention to. We do some very unique things for our solo travelers. Everything from, I showed you that dining room slide, I told you that there was something special about that. We offset our tables on the vessels. So instead of having a table for 6 or 8, we'll have a table for 6 or 7 or 9, so we can include single passengers on the cruise and they don't feel like they've put anybody out. So one of the ways that we do things, 25% off single supplement on the balcony staterooms, which is very, very nice. So make sure you take advantage of that. And lastly, our webinar special that we have right now, we're doing $100 per person off any 2021 or 22 itinerary. Again, that's reserved by the end of the year. Of course, Africa and Egypt are excluded from that. So right on time at this point. Any questions and answers from anybody? I mean, I'll give you the answers, but any questions, I should say.
This is wonderful. I have a question though. By reservations, what did you mean when you say call reservations? You meant call travel and cruise desk, right?
Yes, yes. Your travel and cruise desk reservations. Your reservationists, I should say.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, Hollis. Oh, you're muted.
There we go. I got on the Amastella a year ago today in Amsterdam, and it was the best Christmas markets cruise. And I'd done one before on your former company, and this was absolutely the best Christmas markets experience, the best experience that one of the best travel memories I have in all the years I've been doing this.